Ladies, there is a huge difference between weight loss versus fat loss. Now, it doesn't take a genius to know that if you want to lose weight, all we need to do is get that number on the scales to go down. Most females go about that goal in the same way. Crash dieting and overtraining, the only way they've learned how to achieve their goal. Now, the reason why most females go about physique change in this way is because they don't know any different. They've taken on what society's told them, what their mother may have taught them, what they may have seen their friends doing, what they read in magazines. When you don't know any different, you will keep going back to the same way of trying to achieve the goal. Yes, you may weigh less on the scales, but you don't look any stronger, healthier, leaner, and it very much affects your confidence because it's tied to a very negative way of achieving your goals and a very warped relationship with food that doesn't serve you long term. Yes, you might weigh less, but you've lost muscle mass, and the long-term outcome is that you end up looking skinny fat. We want to build a physique that isn't just strong, but is an energy-burning machine. And that's why muscle is so important, because without muscle, it's inevitable that we're going to rebound and put on more body fat than what we had previously. So if we want to actually lose body fat and not just body weight, we need to be lifting weights 3 to 5 times a week, eating enough calories while being in a calorie deficit. We need to be making sure we're eating enough protein to build and or maintain muscle mass, getting enough movement, which for most people is their step target. And last of all, we need to stop only chasing that number on the scales. Losing body fat is going to take more strategy and more time, but long term, it not only leads to a better looking physique, it also leads to a body that's really good at burning energy when we're at rest. And that is the power of muscle mass. Aiming for quick weight loss is an absolute trap. At some point, your cravings, your hunger, it's all going to fight against you. And as soon as you start eating normally again, your body gets bigger than what it was because you've lost muscle mass. When you lose muscle mass, your metabolism goes through the floor. You no longer live in an energy burning machine. Muscle gives you strength, muscle gives you confidence, but it's also the tissue that uses the most amount of energy throughout your day. One thing I have learned from being a female myself is that number on the scales is very emotional. It can take us from the mood on the left to the mood on the right instantly. When that number on the scales has its claws locked into you, it's so important to recognize what control that has over your idea of self. Okay, let's take a look at the 7 different factors that affect your body weight overnight. Number 1, your level of hydration. Whether you're dehydrated or you're well hydrated, that's going to affect your body weight overnight. The amount of carbohydrates you consume. For every 1 gram of carbohydrate you consume, your body will store 3 grams of water because that is what your muscles need to be able to work and recover from training. Carbohydrates themselves are not fattening. How much salt you've consumed, whether or not you've been strength training, your ability to manage your stress levels, whether or not you have quality sleep routine, and last of all, where you are in your menstrual cycle. The likelihood that there are a number of these factors at play any night of the week is the reason why your body weight fluctuates overnight. And not one of these 7 factors are indicative of fat gain. And this is why it's so important to look at that number with discernment, not judgment, because it can be the difference between going about your day and still feeling in control of how your body is changing long term, or having this really negative, heavy feeling that affects how you act, how you feel about yourself, and how it is that you show up around others. So now that we've got that awareness of those factors that are going to cause your body weight to fluctuate overnight, let's take a look at some of the amazing results that my clients have achieved in the 10 months of working with me. We have Caitlin, Laurie, and Kate. All of these ladies have been working with the Women's Empowerment Project for under 12 months. As has Kel, Jess, and Jackie. Your progress photos are just as, if not more important than tracking your body weight. Some of the ladies on this screen have lost under 2 kilograms, but you can see that their ratio of muscle mass versus body fat has changed immensely. And that's what I mean by having a higher percentage of muscle mass versus body fat. The scale weight may not change very much, but what you see in the mirror has changed immensely. So let's take a look at why how you use your scales really matters. This is a tool. And this tool can be used to secure nails on a wall, or you can use it to inflict harm upon someone. This too is a tool. It's a tool that can be used to measure your body weight, or you can be using it to interpret your self-value, which is going to cause immense emotional harm and affect your mental health long term. The thing is, ladies, you don't have to use hammers or scales, but they can be really useful when you use them at the right time and for the right purpose. When you are using these tools, you get to make the choice. Are they going to be useful, or are we going to use them to cause harm? Weighing yourself to collect data unemotionally is a progression, not your starting point. Only after we have the stability around the lifestyle habits that influence your body weight, we can start using body weight scales. As with Steph, Gemma, and Lisa, every one of my clients has to go through earning their license to be able to start tracking their body weight as a metric. These lifestyle requirements are the actions that contribute to fat loss, not just weight loss. You're not going to be surprised at what these lifestyle requirements are, because this is the message that you undoubtedly have heard several times before. Personal organization is at the top because it's needed in every other factor on the list. Having a quality sleep routine, learning how to flexible diet, tracking your daily steps and coming as close as you can to hitting your personal target, your meal preparation habits, whether or not you strength train regularly and increasing the intensity of those training sessions, making sure that you're eating enough protein and enough food overall for your energy requirements, keeping up with your daily hydration, and last of all, managing your stress. Weighing yourself to collect data unemotionally requires you to first have in place a lifestyle that's going to influence the changes that you want to see and feel. Not just that number on the scales, but what it is that you want to see and feel in your clothes, in the mirror, and the validation you get from other people when they can see your physique is changing for the better. When you decide to change your physique by focusing on your scale weight, it's the same as driving into a city and trying to navigate that area using only one street sign. You're missing the full map and the route that's actually going to get you to the destination that you want. So ladies, just remember, while you may be seeing that number on the scales go down, that number doesn't dictate what your body looks like, your energy, how strong you are, how you perform in the gym, the level of confidence you can feel building inside. Those factors are not dictated by that number on the scales. And that is a very important reminder to getting away from the old messages that we were taught about using scale weight. Everything that I've touched on today is what has led my clients to going from where they were when they began with me to where they've finished the year. And the great thing about having clients over a period of time is that change in their lifestyle leads them to seeing and feeling exactly what they've been trying to achieve for several years on their own. So next time you find yourself getting on those scales in an effort to try and change your physique, make sure you ask yourself, am I aiming for weight loss, or is my goal fat loss? Because not only is there a huge difference between the two, but earning your license to use scale weight first comes from putting the energy, the effort, and the time into changing your lifestyle so that you're able to influence and be in control of how it is that your body is changing over time. You might even get to the point where you don't need to use the scale weight because you can see the difference in your reflection in the mirror. You can feel it in the way your clothes fit, and you can feel it in your energy, your self-confidence, and the way in which you show up in the world.